My stepmother forced herself into the hospital and said she hoped my baby died in the NICU, so I'd finally learn the worth of family. So I said that her son ending it all was her fault. I-29F went into labor at 29 weeks. It was sudden and terrifying. One day I was dealing with mild swelling and elevated blood pressure, and the next, I was being rushed into emergency surgery with severe preeclampsia. I didn't have time to think, to prepare, to breathe. I was terrified for myself, but even more terrified for my baby, who wasn't supposed to be born for almost 3 more months. When they wheeled me in, I was shaking, crying, not from pain but from fear. I barely remember calling my mom. Everything was a blur. She came immediately. I found out later she called my dad too, just to keep him in the loop. My mom and I are close, and I'd made my wishes crystal clear to everyone months ago. If something went wrong during the delivery, I only wanted her and my husband in the room, no one else. I even wrote it down in my birth plan and had it filed with the hospital. It was one of the few things I felt in control of. Now here's where the real mess begins. My dad is married to Janet. She's been in my life since I was 8 years old. I won't sugarcoat it. My relationship with her has always been complicated, even traumatic. When I was a kid, she'd lock me in my room for hours as punishment, scream at me for crying, cut my hair out of spite when I talked back, and routinely threw away my clothes or withheld food if I disrespected her. She had this cold, calculating way of twisting every situation into being about her, and somehow my dad never saw a problem. He'd say she just had a different parenting style. I started therapy at 18 when I finally got out of that house, and I've worked hard over the years to untangle all of the damage she caused. But because of my dad, I've kept a surface-level relationship with Janet. Polite, distant, fake. For birthdays or holidays, we smile and nod. But I never, ever intended for her to be part of something as vulnerable and life-altering as childbirth. And I told everyone that. So imagine my horror when I wake up post-surgery, groggy from the spinal block and still dizzy from anesthesia, and I find out that Janet showed up at the hospital. Not just showed up, but caused a whole scene. According to my husband, she was wailing in the waiting room, saying she was excluded again, that no one ever thinks of her, and that it wasn't fair she was being shut out of the family moment. Keep in mind, I had just undergone an emergency C-section to deliver a severely premature baby who was immediately taken to the NICU. I was barely conscious. My birth plan was on file. She was not supposed to be there, period. The nurses, bless them, stuck to my plan and only allowed my husband and my mom into the delivery area. When Janet wasn't allowed through, she lost it. My dad came into my recovery room not long after and started lecturing me about how cruel I was being. That Janet is a grandmother too, and that she deserves to be part of the experience. I was lying there, pale, shaking, not even able to sit up straight, and he was telling me I was heartless. I told him I didn't want to talk about Janet right now, that I just wanted peace, that I was scared for my baby, but he wouldn't let it go. He kept saying, family is everything, and don't push people away when they're trying to support you. Later that day, Janet tried to force her way into the NICU visitor list. She told the front desk nurse that she was the grandmother, and she needed to see her baby. When they told her NICU visitation was restricted to only the parents at this stage, she completely lost it. She came storming into my room like a woman possessed. She stood at the foot of my bed, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "You'll see what happens when you push people away. Maybe when that baby dies in the NICU, you'll finally understand that family is all you've got."